Welcome to Brainiac, the science show that Albert Einstein would have invented if he hadn't been so thick.
The big science on Brainiac tonight. CO2, the sequel, racing with fire extinguishers. We use science to turn this softie into a fully fledged heart man.
I'm really angry!
No, you're a wuss! Let's say it again!
Really angry!
Quiet please, we sneak onto a golf course with bells and whistles.
Yes, you're rubbish!
We get drunk, Brainiac style. And the Brainiac babes will be blowing things up on Explosive of the Week. But first, something really shocking. Take one very large deserted warehouse. Introduce some low-amp 9-volt electrical equipment, one Brainiac, and you have yourself an experiment. The current that these electrode pads will carry produce electrical impulses that will stimulate specific muscle groups. Today, we're going to find out if it's possible to wrap a present whilst being electrocuted. Our Brainiac has the 4 electrode pads placed around his wrists and biceps. Wrapping a present requires a certain level of manual dexterity. Using electrical impulses, the brain tells the fingers what to do and when. However, our equipment overrides those signals, and this causes uncontrollable muscle contractions in the Brainiac's arms. Why the electrical shocks make him produce such strange noises is a mystery. As is the reason behind his impersonations of Shrek. Gift wrapping, one more thing you can't do whilst being electrocuted.
Here's one for you. If you try to fail and succeed, which one have you done?
If you're an avid Brainiac fan, you might well remember this wheelchair. I know I do. Yep, that little disaster was all in the name of science, as we experimented with CO2 as an alternative form of transport. We did, in fact, manage to move ourselves on a number of different devices. Some were more successful than others. However, when we decided to take on the sky, it wasn't exactly a success. Maybe what we needed was more power. Meet my new Brainiac craft. It's a beauty. It's based at heart on a child's recumbent trike. Not a most exciting start, perhaps, but from there on, it's all good stuff. 2 canisters of CO2, a familiar form of propulsion now on Brainiac. And most importantly, the addition of this at the back, a Venturi. It works like this. The CO2 leaves the canisters along these pipes. It all comes together at this T-piece here and then down this pipe through this electronically operated valve that's triggered by the fire switch, which I really do like, and then into the Venturi casing itself. Now, there are 16 2mm holes around the circumference of this inside. The CO2 jets out of there, and as it does so and fires up the Venturi, it actually pulls in more air from the atmosphere around and jets the whole lot out the back. It actually increases the airflow 12 times over. All of which means 2 things. Number 1, much more power. Number 2, probably a very big crash.
Time now for the inaugural run. And yes, we're about to go where no man has gone before. I'm sure this is the first time a green recumbent tricycle has ever been rigged and powered like this.
Here we go. This could get messy. 3, 2, 1, fire. We're off. We have movement. It's fast. This feels good. Well, it's good. The problem is it dumps all the CO2 very, very quickly, so it's more of a short sprint machine. But I have a feeling it's got what it takes. It might be able to challenge last series winner, the wheelchair. Oh yeah, this'll be a race.
Now, I know from experience that the wheelchair has plenty of power, but it also has plenty of control issues. Those neck stretches might not be a bad idea.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Now that's what I call a clear victory, but I will give him one more go to see if he can actually stay on the track. And it looks like he's stupid enough to ignore the handling issues and try.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, fire!
The wheelchair, as usual, off to a flyer, but already it's looking twitchy. There's an old racing adage that says to finish first you must finish. So, a comprehensive victory. We can safely confine the wheelchair to the annals of Brainiac prototypes. CO2 Canisters Mark I has served its purpose. It just isn't quite the right design.
And that really was proper science. The months of research and development since the last series paid off because we started with the wheelchair. But what was power without control? So we honed, developed and refined our techniques and emerged with this magnificent creature. Another spectacular Brainiac triumph. It makes me proud.
And you're watching Brainiac.
Hi, I'm Alan Davis, and you're watching Brainiac.
Tiger Woods loses his rag if he hears the shutter click of a camera while he's lining up his shot. And the crucible can come to a complete standstill just because somebody is unwrapping sweets. And at Wimbledon, how many times have you heard the words, "Quiet, please"? So why in other sports like rugby, football, etc., the crowd's allowed to make as much noise as they want? Why doesn't it put them off? And if it doesn't put them off, maybe it doesn't really put the others off. We thought it was important to investigate.
This is Warren. He's a professional golfer, and like any good professional, he hits the green on a par 3 hole at least 9 times out of 10. That is, of course, when he plays with only the sound of the wind gently blowing through the trees, carrying the calls of the birds who nest in them. So, what happens to his game when he has to deal with this? This noise is provided by the Brainiac Sports distraction team, specially trained in the art of distraction. Their job is to be as noisy and as off-putting as is humanly possible. We've made sure that at least one of the team has Tiger Woods' favourite noise, the shutter. And in the early stages of this experiment, it looks like the Brainiac Sports distraction team is doing their job well, as Warren looks a little rattled. Ball after ball after ball, he fails to hit the green. And it becomes increasingly clear what the result of this experiment will be. When it comes to golf, crowd noise definitely makes a difference. Warren without distraction was 9 out of 10, but with, he's 5 out of 10. With their job done here, the Brainiac Sports distraction team set their sights on some other sports. Join us later in the show as tennis gets the treatment, and we see if we can put some life into lawn green bowls. This object has been magnified 50 times. Although it doesn't look it, it's edible. In fact, they're eaten in their millions every day and are famous for the effects after being digested. What do you think it is? We'll tell you in a few moments.
This is Brainiac, the show where we flog science senseless with a knotted rope.
Also to come, from sissy to hardman, the science of violence. And viewer Jade Hudson uses hamster power to fire up her telly.
Good boy, good boy.
Earlier, we showed you this. It's been magnified 50 times. It's very edible and produces gas after consumption. It is the humble baked bean, just as famous for its fibre as it is for its flatulence.
Think of hard men, and you think of the likes of Vinnie Jones, Mike Tyson, and Steve McFadden. Well, maybe not Steve, he's scared of his mother. Anyway, a real hard man is somebody who can just walk into a bar and command instant respect. And we on Brainiac got to thinking about the science behind being hard. For instance, can you turn somebody who is, quite frankly, a bit of a sissy into a hard man in just a few hours?
This is Dominic. He's a softie who wants to be a Hollywood tough guy, just like his hero, the film actor and macho man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. To help him look tough are these three lads. In the middle is Dave. He's into fitness and fighting and has trained for 25 years. To his left and right are Glenn and Chris. Both have been National Open Combat champs. All three take part in demonstration fighting. These boys are hard. The challenge to turn Dominic from a softie into Arnie under the guidance of a trained professional. To find out just how hard Dominic is, or is not, we've designed a test. In true Hollywood style, we've recreated a dodgy bar where dodgy geezers hang out. Dominic's job is to walk into this bar and make himself known. He then needs to demonstrate his athletic prowess by smashing watermelons. And he has to knock over this punch bag. Once that's done, he needs to confront this subject before he wrestles him to the ground. That should be interesting. With him out of the way, Dominic's job is to kick this locked door in, then forcibly remove this geezer from the bar. But first up, this is how it should be done.
I'm angry! And I'm son of a...
Being in the right mental state and projecting an air of self-belief can give you the edge over your opponents. Sports psychology makes up a large part of any athlete's success.
See the trouble with you? You don't listen!
Although it may not look it, Dave is actually a nice guy, but that's not the impression he's giving here. For the past 6 years, he's been coaching and practicing mixed martial arts, the sort of thing you can see in most Quentin Tarantino films.
Come on!
A lot of what Dave is doing is not just about strength or size, it's timing and technique. Now, the final hurdle. This is where their skills as stunt fighters really come into play.
I'll throw you out! Had enough of you!
You'll be pleased to know Chris is wearing protection.
When I tell you you're out, you're out! You don't listen to me, do you?
Remember, these guys are trained professionals, so please don't try this at home or at your local. So that's the demonstration over. Time now for our wannabe to show us what he's got.
I'm angry and I'm a son of a...
Well, he's not exactly projecting an air of invincibility. At this stage, his only weapon would be incapacitating his opponent due to laughter. He doesn't handle the bat with any athletic grace either, and looks more Hugh Grant than Grant Mitchell. And this is a classic example of poor technique. That is not a punch. He's supposed to knock it so it stays down, and if he can't handle that, how's he going to handle this? I don't think I can watch. So things not going quite to plan. And no matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't get the door to open. And right about now, it goes from bad to worse.
I thought I told you to leave.
Talking to me, mate?
Yes, I am.
As well as having the tables turned on him, our softie also gets a free dental examination.
You hear me?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, he ain't. Dave and the boys have got some work to do.
Dominic, wrap it up, wrap it up. We're going to have to make you look just a little bit harder. I'm going to get you into these and give you a little bit of training, and let's get through this system a little bit better. Come on, son, with us. Come on. You all right?
Yeah.
Are you testing it, mate?
Join us later in the show as our softie goes through some intensive training. Can the boys turn him into a movie hero?
I'm really angry! I'm really angry!
That's it! That's what I want!
Can you fail a drink, drive, breath test without actually having a drink? Down at the lab, 3 Brainiac guinea pigs have 3 portions of booze-laden food. None of them have had a drop for 2 days. But will this lot be enough to make one of them fail a drink drive test?
3, 2, 1.
And they're off. On the left, Liqueur Chocolate's Brainiac has a stash of the finest Christmas treats packed full of concentrated spirits, brandy, whiskey and rum. But is there enough alcohol inside to fail the test? In the centre, Coq-au-vin Brainiac is guzzling chicken in a red wine sauce. Now, the gravy is laced with the finest claret, but there's plenty of filling meat to consume alongside. But how much would he have to scoff before the cops flag him down? And on the right, Sherry Trifle Brainiac is making her way through several pots of her mum's favourite pud. She'll need to get a lot of sherry down to win this race, but also a lot of synthetic cream. She's probably going to throw up first. Once they think they've got enough alcohol on board, they get breathalyzed. And remember, it's the first to fail the test who wins. Now, this is the machine that's set at the legal limit for driving. 2.5 pints or 3 pub measures of spirits should set it off. But how much food will that require? Quick sluice of water to clear the excess alcohol from his mouth, and it looks like chomping Brainiac is ready to have a go first. He's had 30 liqueur chocolates so far, and remember, you've got to fail the test to win the race.
Pass.
No, not yet. He needs to munch his way through far more sweets than that to cross the finish line. Cocky Coq-au-vin Brainiac knew that the other guy went off too fast, and he's packed away a good few plates of wine-laced chicken in the meantime. And now, it looks like, yes it is, he's ready to try his luck too.
Blow for 5 seconds.
The drink drive limit is 0.8.
You've passed.
And he's also fallen short. It's going to take a lot more concentrated binging. That food looks a lot less appetizing now. Sherry Trifle Brainiac looks as if she's biding her time. She's obviously decided to put in some steady laps before she troubles the scorer. Oh, and here goes Liqueur Boy again. He's had 4 full boxes now. That's 64 chocolates, and he's feeling pretty damn hopeful. Slightly tipsy he may be. But no, once again, short of the line. Chicken Boy, well, he's not far behind. 2 whole birds, about half a litre of Bordeaux lace gravy.
You passed.
No siree, back to the dinner table, you gimp. And here she comes at last, Trifle Brainiac. She's held off till now, but she's ready to throw her hat into the ring. She looks pretty confident.
You passed.
Too confident. 0.8 is the mark, and she's a trifle down. Down to the last lap now. They sprint for the line. Desperate shoveling of mountains of food is the only way they're going to do it. They've got to get it in, and they've got to keep it down. So who's next to try their hand? And it's Liqueur Chocolate Brainiac. He's ready to go again. Now, this could be his last bid, because I'm sure he's not going to keep that lot inside him for very much longer. He's trained hard for this day. He's eaten 108 Sweeties crammed full of fortified spirit. It's been a long, hard slog, but has he done it? Oh, yes, he has. He's over 0.8. It's a taxi ride home for this Brainiac as he takes home the gold medal as Alcoholympics champion. So just remember this, don't eat chocolates and drive.
Late for work? In a hurry at breakfast? Here's a tip. Don't make toast with white bread. Use brown instead. Whoa! Brown bread cooks faster than white because it absorbs more heat and reflects less radiation from the toaster. Try it!
This is an experiment to see if crowd noise really is distracting. We want to know why the crowd has to be quiet in some sports, but not in others. Earlier, our golfer, who normally hits the green 9 out of 10 times, only managed to hit it 5 out of 10 with the presence of the Brainiac Sports distraction team. Now it's time to turn our attention to the highly strung. This is Marcus, and he's a tennis pro. He lives, eats, sleeps and breathes tennis, and in between all of that, he coaches. Now, a world-class player will get his first serve in around 74% of the time. Our Marcus isn't quite up to that, but he does manage to put his first serve in our designated area 62% of the time. That's without any kind of distraction. So what happens to his game when we let the Brainiac Sports distraction team loose? With no umpire to utter the words "quiet please," Marcus now has to contend with the childish antics of a bunch of brainless brainiacs. Our flag-waving Brainiac is trying to get him to commit the cardinal sin of sport, taking your eye off the ball. All the while, Marcus is attempting to knock ball after ball in so we can establish if the noise is having a detrimental effect. After numerous serves, we have the information we need. Before the distraction, Marcus nailed 62% of his first serves. With the distraction, his accuracy actually increased to 71%. So there it is, irrefutable proof that there is no real reason for the umpires to say, "Quiet, please." Roll on, Wimbledon. Things John Tickle's body can't do.
Come in. Hello, Mr. Tickle. Would you stand over there, please? Now, Mr. Tickle, would you please hold your nose? And now hum for me.
When you hum, the nasal passage opens and the soft palate is lifted. If you block the airflow, it prevents the hum, as the sound is dependent on a steady passage of air.
Sorry, nurse, I can't do that.
Goodbye.
One more thing John Tickle's body can't do. Every day in the Brainiac lab, our email inbox is flooded with suggestions for experiments from the great British public. The mad, the bad, and the downright stupid. Our dedicated research team go through each and every one of these suggestions and thoroughly assess them for their scientific value. Just a very few ideas actually go forward for testing. And if your idea is picked, be sure the Brainiac team will track you down. I can do science, babe. If you've written into Brainiac, we will find you.
Where's the hamster?
What?
Where's the hamster?
Today, we're in Todmorden, grabbing amateur dramatics fan Jade Hudson and Ipswich the hamster. If you're lucky enough to be selected, then you too could be picked up in style by the Brainiac team and chauffeur-driven to our top-secret, state-of-the-art research laboratory. For all of you wannabe scientists out there, it's your chance to get really scientific. It's I Can Do Science, Me, with Charlotte Hudson.
Today, it's Jade Hudson. Dear Brainiac, my electricity bill is killing me. I want to know, my hamster loves running on his wheel. Can I harness his energy to power my telly? Suppose so.
First, let's get the generator built. Well, not us, it's her stupid idea after all. Hamsters run on average for 6 hours a day. Actually, usually at night, being nocturnal animals, but we're hoping Ipswich is going to make a bit of an exception, just for us. Don't worry, little fella. You're in safe hands. A brainiac who spent yesterday blowing up microwaves. In order to produce electricity, he's going to have to power up a small generator attached to his wheel. Being plastic, it's non-conductive. We don't want him getting electrocuted on the job. Our first concern is his safety. Actually, scrub that. Our first concern is getting some power out of him. We won't start him off with a telly, though. We don't want to scare the little tyke. Let's see if he can power up a light bulb first. In 1 revolution, a hamster will usually travel 1 foot in 1 second. At that speed, it would only take it 374 years to run to the moon.
Come on, Ipswich, run.
We're not asking Ipswich to do that. Yet.
Go on, Ipswich. Go on.
But at least he has managed to run fast enough to get the light bulb going.
Go on, Ipswich, go on. Good boy. Come on, good boy, go.
So, Ipswich the hamster is generating electricity, but just exactly how much power does he have in his little legs? Bring on the telly.
This is a bit of a tougher proposition. A television needs 80 watts of electricity to get it going. That's a lot of running for a small rodent.
Go on, Ipswich, go on. Go on.
Go for it, Ipswich. Get those little legs working.
Good boy. Good boy.
Surely this kind of work rate should be enough to power up a few minutes of telly. Nothing. Not even the home shopping channel. Poor old Ipswich, he's trying his best, but frankly, it just isn't good enough. The little mite's exhausted.
Her name is Jade Hudson. She wanted to know if her hamster could power her television by running on his wheel. The answer? No.
I can do science, me.
I'm very angry.
Earlier in the show, we established that this guy is truly soft by running him through a specially designed course that replicates a dodgy boozer. Our mission is to see if we can turn this wuss into his Hollywood hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in just a couple of hours by arming him with the necessary skills.
Respect, mate.
The first change to be made was the colour of his clothing. Black is the colour of choice for hard men, or skin-tight yellow if appearing on Kill Bill 3 is your ambition. It might not make much of a difference, but our softie needs all the help he can get. First up, an attitude adjustment.
Just stare, harder. Don't smile, harder. Get really angry. Now just say that before you hit that bag. I'm really angry.
I'm really angry.
I ain't angry, really angry.
I'm really angry.
Really angry. That's it. That's what I want. Getting all that bag.
The next step was to work on his technique. Getting power into a punch means using the whole body.
Not that, because you won't feel nothing. Your body weight behind the elbow, it feels it all. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, Dominic, and again.
And this principle can be applied to other areas in the physiology of fighting. Force equals mass times acceleration. So by using the whole body, you increase the mass and therefore the force of the blow. This science can also be applied to the physics of kicking doors in.
Generating power is all about going through. So when you're there, you must make sure your foot can actually go through the door and your body weight behind it. That's it, keep it lower. Remember, the lock is there. You've got to bust that. Excellent! Excellent!
Ever wondered how small guys manage to successfully manhandle big guys? Again, it's all down to technique, using balance and leverage.
You're going to get right underneath him. So when I'm here, my head is going to do all the lifting work.
Back muscles are one of the biggest muscle groups in the human body, and harnessing their power makes moving a bigger object easier.
Look how easy that was. You've done that exercise perfect.
And just when we thought he was getting used to it, he finds himself a little shaken at the prospect of actually having to hit this guy.
This arm's going to slip right up his back. If you have to throw a few knees in just to shock him, throw a few knees in, just to keep him stunned up in case he starts struggling. But that groin shot should just give him enough to realise you meant business. Don't be shocked. He was going to do ya. Let's go. Oh, that's better. That's better, Dominic. That's it. Enjoy it.
It's been a steep learning curve as he's come to terms with the harsh reality of trying to be like Arnold. So with one intensive training course under his belt, can our softie elevate himself into the realm of the hard?
I'm angry and I'm a son of a...
Well, that's a much better entrance than his first attempt. So far, so good. That took him 3 attempts pre-training. The coaching has helped, and he's getting all of his weight into the swing. He might even be able to hit a home run.
I told you!
Now remember, the aim is to look tough without actually causing any harm. Not that he looks like he would. Here comes the first big challenge. And just look at his body language. He's starting to believe he's hard. Pre-training, he couldn't get the door to move, but now he's a one-hit wonder. This is the big test, though. Will he be the intimidator or the intimidated?
Thought I told you to leave.
You talking to me? Yes, I am.
While the practice has paid off, he's quickly applied the arm lock and done it with confidence. Well, his execution of the various techniques hasn't been too bad. He started off soft, and while he's nowhere near becoming Arnold Schwarzenegger, he has taken a step in the right direction. And that, in the world of science, is called progress. Which fruit floats? Featuring Professor Myang Lee and her big basket of fruit. Today, she's holding her plump and juicy mango. So what's your guess? Will it sink or will it float? We'll give you a few moments to argue about it and give you the answer in just a moment.
This is Brainiac, the show that pulls down the trousers of science and spanks it with a slipper.
Also to come, Dr. Bunhead peddles more unwanted science tricks down at his local. Spoilsports, the Brainiacs are let loose on lawn bowls. But first... Earlier in the show, Professor Myang Lee posed the question, does her plump and juicy mango sink or float? Yes, mangoes sink. All the way to the bottom of the pool. And then again, mangoes float. Depending on the mango. Nice one, Prof.
Here's one for you. If someone told you that they were a pathological liar, would you believe them?
Earlier in the show, we established, using our Brainiac Sports distraction team, that a noisy gallery in golf has a detrimental effect on the game. Well, it did for our Warren anyway. But when it came to tennis, ignoring the umpire's call for quiet please actually made our tennis pro, Marcus, a much better player. He improved his first serve ratio by 9%. Now, we here at Brainiac take no prisoners. So now we turn our attention to lawn bowls. This is Maurice Zollo. He's a bowling champion and even has his name on the trophy to prove it. Like any good bowling champion, he can place his wood within a 2-foot radius of the jack 85% of the time. That's what makes him a champion. Normally, the only kind of distraction he has to put up with is the, well, nothing, really. Except maybe the odd admiring glance from the gallery. Of course, the ultimate question is how will he perform under the watchful eyes of the Brainiac Sports distraction team? Now, you may be thinking Maurice is deaf. Not true. He could hear a pin drop in any old room. Even when our Brainiac team pulls out the close quarter techniques, he remains completely unflustered. Maurice is the Iceman. So far, we've established that the silence on the tennis court serves no great purpose, and it looks as if we're about to turn the game of lawn bowls on its head. Nothing the Brainiac team seems to do puts Maurice off his game. It's as if they weren't even there. His percentage without distraction was 85, but now he's getting within 2 foot of the jack a remarkable 94% of the time. Can athletes perform under the pressure of a noisy crowd? They most certainly can. Unless, of course, your game is golf. In 1983, leather and lace glam rockers Twisted Sister sang "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll." But we here at Brainiac are prepared to have a crack at anything. Of course, it's easier to do it with one of Brainiac's favourite things, TNT. It's an explosive that needs to be fired from a safe distance. TNT produces a powerful blast pressure due to the high velocity at which energy is released. Typically, 1 gram of TNT produces about 1 litre of gas, which is a 1,000-fold increase in volume. At speed, that's what does the damage. Can't stop rock and roll? You can with trinitrotoluene.
Dribble, spittle, slobber. Apparently, the juices that flow in your mouth can tell an awful lot about you. The theory goes that the more shy and retiring you are, the more saliva you produce. Sounds like one to tackle in the Brainiac lab, I think.
Here we go, then. This is Darren. Darren is an introvert.
Oh, good afternoon, Darren. Welcome to the Brainiac Lab. Hello. Hi.
This is Simon. Simon is an extrovert. 2 perfect candidates, then. So, Darren, he's a bit of a quiet chap, one of life's shy, retiring types. For him, a typical Saturday night entertainment usually involves a takeaway, a crossword, and looking at pictures on the internet. Simon, on the other hand, is what you might call a bit of a lad. The first to get up when the karaoke machine starts. He's got a joke for every occasion and confidently regards himself as the life and soul of any party. So, does Darren produce more saliva than Simon? Let's find out. In preparation for this experiment, these two haven't been allowed to eat anything for a whole day. So we're hoping that watching others enjoying some tasty snacks will start the juices flowing in their mouths. People salivate to lubricate the mouth in preparation for eating. Unfortunately for our hungry guinea pigs, they're not actually going to get any of this tasty food, as we're only interested in their spittle. The part of your brain which makes you salivate is the same bit which makes you respond to social contact. It's called the reticular activating system. In introverts, it's especially active. These people apparently react more strongly to meeting others than more outgoing types, and also produce more saliva. Every drop counts. We've told them no swallowing of their spit is allowed. We're hoping a hot fish supper also proves to be a mouth-watering prospect. The smell helps too. Spittle flowing nicely. The final treatment, some lemon licking. This should drain the last drops from their glands. OK, time's up. The unenviable task of measuring the gob. And remember, it's the quantity of the spittle that counts, not the quality.
The results. Simon produced 1.5 cubic centimetres of saliva, and Darren produced 2.5 cubic centimetres.
So, what have we learned? Well, the meek may inherit the earth, but watch out for their sloppy kisses. This could happen to you. You suddenly find yourself surrounded by water whilst working in your office. You've been caught completely unawares by global warming. What do you do? Well, we've already established that cardboard storage boxes are one of the worst things you can grab. But on the other hand, an empty water cooler bottle provided excellent buoyancy. This is a process of elimination, designed to help you decide what you should and should not grab in this situation. So, what will our Brainiac grab this time? Well, he's heard the alarm, and he's gone for the corner storage boxes, and look, he's turned them upside down to try and trap the air inside. It's not a bad attempt by our Brainiac, but as you can see, the trapped air quickly escapes. Again, the cardboard compound providing no buoyancy for our Brainiac. He really is struggling to keep himself afloat. So, corner storage boxes, another office product you should avoid if you're looking for buoyancy. science, the Brainiac alternative to pie and mash.
I tell you what, mate, this will really impress you. I bet you I could turn that pint upside down and not spill it at all.
You can do it yourself.
Go on, then.
OK.
Yeah, right, OK. Yeah, but without the card. With this. A super polymer which absorbs up to 40 times its volume in moisture. And now you will see I have made beer jelly.
Blue.
And this I can turn upside down and not spill a drop. Now, if you keep the camera running, I'll hit... Oh, hang on. Oh, come on. There's a chance.
Explosive of the week. We're down at Big Bang Farm. Our girls are having a friendly kick around. After the game, they're going to pick an explosive, blow something into little pieces, and then give it marks out of 10. But what explosive will the girls choose this week? After a quick consultation, it looks like a decision has been made. And their chosen explosive today, flash powder. So called because it burns so fast, it's gone in a flash. It's mainly used in pyrotechnic displays, but today they're going to blow up their grandma's old dresser, full of their favourite childhood toys. 3 of their friends will judge the explosion, giving it marks out of 10. But before there are any explosions, there must be first some preparation. The Brainiac babes are ultimate pros when it comes to big bangs, so they get straight down to the nitty-gritty. Only the slightest spark is needed to unleash the lethal potential of flash powder, and it's also extremely sensitive to impact and friction. Should be safe tucked into these soft toys, though. And the girls are careful not to drop any. Handle with care is their motto today. It looks like the girls have done the deed. The judges are set. Go on then, Olive. Let's make shrapnel.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, that's a good one. Bang over, the judges compare notes and give their verdicts. And oh dear, Beryl must be in a terrible mood. Only 2 from her. Mavis not impressed either. Only 4? At least Hilda enjoyed it. A joyful 7 is her score. Well, that's what the judges think, and the rest of the girls seem happy too. So it's off back down to the Big Bang Farm.